Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of One for the Table.
I'm John
featuring your
Kong.
host.
That's not how
Featuring your
usually.
host,
Okay.
John Kong, and Kim Chi. John is very excited to get his name out there today.
Usually we do the intro like, "Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of One for the Table," and then I will say, "I'm John Kung," and then you say, "I'm Kim Chi," and then we would like get on to talking about it. You just flipped up the format a little
just want to
bit.
keep the format new and fresh.
Fresh.
But anyways, so good to see you and just some giant fly that's like flying all over your face right now.
I know. Okay, so there are a lot of flies in my house right now because today's garbage
Because you have a
day.
dead body in there.
Yes, it is. It's actually me. I'm the dead body.
We haven't heard from your partner in a while.
He's in Texas.
I was wondering why you want to purchase a giant meat freezer.
Because everyone needs a giant freezer. That has nothing to do with the fact that I've not seen my boyfriend and no one's seen my boyfriend for like a week and a half. I've also been with you, so you're my alibi.
Like a wellness check for your partner.
He's not here. He really isn't. He is in Texas right now. He actually gets in today, and I'm very excited to see him. But then he leaves again on Monday.
Oh,
he travels a lot. Yeah. Anyway, so there are a lot of flies in my house because today is trash day and there were dumpsters in front of my house. And also somebody came in to fix the doors and had to take the front doors down. So they all flew inside and they're enormous and they're flying all over the screen. This is not a video podcast, but if it was, it would be embarrassing. There's one right now. I've named this one Thomas.
Because they're so big.
Like you can see them in the video.
Like clearly.
Yeah, it's concerning. It's concerning. And of course Boba's running around trying to eat them all because she thinks they are sky raisins. Anyways, never mind that. How are you? I miss you.
Oh, I wish I could say the same. I'm kidding.
I miss you too.
I miss you too.
And I miss Butter. You don't guess. Butter's good.
Doing good.
Does Butter miss me?
I don't know if his brain is capable of like thinking like beyond what's happening that day.
Yeah, and we love that about Butter. He's just grumbles and vibes.
Just grumbles and it's like, oh, you're here now. You will pet me.
Yes. Here's my butt. Pat it, please. Yeah. What's been going on? How have you been?
I did find a flea on Butter this morning.
A flea?
Yeah.
How? What?
And I was like petting him, and then I saw like a tiny brown dot, and it quickly disappeared. And I'm like, wait, what was that? And then I was like looking around, and I saw like the flea like on my couch, and I quickly killed it. Mm-hmm. So I ordered flea medicine, all this like flea stuff before.
Doesn't Butter have preventative stuff? Well, he doesn't. Yeah.
No, he does have preventative stuff, but it's been a couple months now, so
okay.
I forgot to give him his.
Those things are generally good. Everything. Well, there's a really good one, unsponsored, but like there's the one that I put my dogs on. It's either called NexGard or something else, but it's like one where you only have to do it once every like 6 months.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I don't think NexGard, I think they're just like tablets that you feed them once a month. And then there's this other one that I put them on recently that is like once every 6 months. It's very nice. And it's flea and tick. Yeah. So especially if Butter goes to Diana's place a lot and like is around like grass and stuff, like, yeah, you should get around that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, so that's happening. And so before John left on Monday, on Sunday we went to or I went to.
You went to. I was there.
Like a benefit dinner that John was cooking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
Tell the audience about what the dinner was about and what you cooked.
Sure. So it was a benefit dinner for something called the Big Queer Food Festival, which hopefully, after the success of the benefit and future fundraising efforts, will be in Los Angeles, next year sometime. And it will be a food festival that features queer people in the food and beverage industry. And there are a lot of us in every aspect of it. So it makes total sense that we would have something like this in LA. And I was so happy to be a part of it. I cooked 2 courses out of the 6 courses that were there. They were on the lighter and easier side. So there were features like a big pork roulade, a polenta that was absolutely delicious. There were a lot of past apps, and I did something simple because I came in from out of town and I really didn't know the kitchen that we were going to be in, and I didn't want to like do anything that was too like demanding technologically, I guess. So I did a soup and a salad, and the
So if you
salad
were
that
top chef, we'd be like, you didn't try hard enough. You're a chef.
I know, but I'm also
Like,
like,
I'm kidding.
well, I don't care. I'll say it right now. Like, I'm retired.
No.
I still cook.
That made sense because the other courses were very like rich and your courses were very like refreshing, so it definitely needed that.
Yeah, I definitely
So the
wanted
first
to
course
do.
was,
Oh,
sorry.
oh, go ahead. No. I would rather hear you talk about it.
I guess I'll take you on the journey from my point of view.
Yes, please do.
It was held at this restaurant called Tommy's, which I've like never been. It was in Beverly Hills, swanky. It's in the second floor, beautiful view, beautiful venue. And then all the seats were like prearranged for us. So then we all sat down. And when I first sat down, I kind of had like a little like anxiety moment because everybody that was like sitting at my table and like all around me were all like beautiful looking, successful, like white gays. They were like all friends with each other and they all knew each other. So like I like a moment of like, oh my God, I don't belong here. Like, what am I doing here? But then everybody at the table was actually like really nice, and then we started talking, and I actually ended up having a fun time. So I guess don't judge beautiful looking white gay by its cover. There is more to them than just their beautiful facade.
Okay.
Sorry.
Not you being an advocate for like buff cis gay white men.
I'm not being an advocate. I'm just saying.
They're people
like-
just like us.
No, I feel like they're always like, like the punchline to a lot of like our comedy.
Yeah, no, I get it. They are oftentimes the punchline to like the things that we joke about, deservingly. But they can be nice too.
So first they brought out like a giant skillet full of these like focaccia bread, and they were served. They were cut into like very like rustic sizes. They were like huge, and I'm like, oh my God, one slice of focaccia could feed like a family of 4.
Yeah, and I love that it was presented in a skillet. I love anything that is brought out in a skillet. I have a couple of recipes in my book that are served in skillets, and I just think the presentation is just it's homey, it's rustic, as you said, but it's also like super practical because it leaves you with one less dish to wash.
Yeah,
And you can just bring it straight from the oven onto like a trivet onto the table, and it looks beautiful. Yeah, there's something really nice about that presentation, and that focaccia was good.
yeah, focaccia was good. It was like one of those like crumbly focaccia. Because some focaccias like you taste it and it tastes really oily.
Yeah,
But this was like a nice crumbly focaccia with like a little sea salt on top and like rosemary flavored infused throughout. And I was like, all right, I can get down with this focaccia. And then the first course was John's salad. He called it a gay salad. Would you like to tell us about the gay salad?
the gay salad. They were asking for names for my courses because originally it was called like a little Jim salad with rainbow roots. And they were like, oh, people were coming up with really clever names with their things, and I really couldn't think of anything to describe this salad except that it was gay, and it was a gay salad. And it was served with a new salad dressing that I had been experimenting with. So the salad dressing that I came up with was a Negroni vinaigrette, and in there had all the components of a Negroni, which was Campari and sweet vermouth, a little bit of orange juice for the sweetness of the salad dressing, as well as vinegar, in this case, champagne vinegar, because I wanted to make it kind of like a Negroni Spagliato vinaigrette, and of course, olive oil. And that was mixed together and drizzled on top of the salad. And the reason why I wanted to make it a Negroni Spagliato vinaigrette was because of that TikTok between, I can actually look up, this is great, because I can actually look up the actor's name.
It was like the viral clip of like, Negroni Spagliato with Prosecco.
Emma Darcy. So Emma Darcy is an actor in the House of Dragon show. They are non-binary and, like, in my opinion, like, really super handsome. And so the way that they said it was just so, like, sexy to me that it made me had a little bit of a pansexual panic. So that was the reason why I feel like that was like the queerest thing that had happened to me all year. And so I definitely made a salad dressing in honor of that.
Nice.
A Negroni Spagliato with Prosecco. It's so good. I get tingles.
That is like such like a random clip to go viral from like that show too.
I know. But it was just like the way that they said it was just so hot.
Yeah. And then after John's gay salad, second course, the chef described she had like a Caribbean background. So I don't know if it's she. They served like this like Caribbean flatbread with soft shell crab, and it had like this like refreshing pea, some sort of like a component to it. And the soft shell crab was really good. It was like a good balance of like chewy texture from the bread and then crunchy from like the soft shell crab, which was also really juicy at the same time, along with like the fresh pea chutney thingy. I don't know how to describe that sauce, but it was really good.
The fact that you are doing all of this by memory is really impressive. I didn't get to eat everything, but I don't think I would have been able to just remember everything like that.
When it comes to food, I remember everything I ate.
That is very impressive. Well done.
Yeah, confessions of a true fat ass. She never forgets. But surprisingly, this dish, a lot of the people didn't eat or like didn't even touch it at all.
Why? It looked amazing.
I know.
Who doesn't like soft shell crab?
I think that's what happens when you're a fit white gay. You make sacrifices, you know?
So just at your table, though, that isn't to say that people in other tables didn't eat,
I mean,
right?
I couldn't really see the other table.
Right, okay.
At least in my table,
Makes
like
sense.
a lot of people like didn't even touch like the crab.
They were just there to support, which, you know what? Work. If you're there to support, then
Yeah.
a win's a win.
Dinner, so, you know, like show the support. But if I'm going to a benefit dinner, also, if it's like a chef-driven thing, and because I don't have any food allergies,
Yeah.
I will always try everything.
Yeah.
Like, I will try everything they put on the table down to like the condiments. I want to see like the chef's vision. Like, I want to go to the world that like the chef like created in their head, you know?
Right, of course. And the chef that we were talking about that did this soft shell crab dish, she does go by she, and her name is Rashida Holmes, and she has a pop-up concept called Bridgetown Roti
Yeah, her food was really good.
in LA. Yeah.
In LA? All right.
Yes.
And then the next course was John's soup.
Yeah. The soup course was probably like the smallest course. We served them in these little tiny crystal like coupes or chalices, and it was really pretty. It was like the liquid itself was kind of like a blue-gray color. It was a Chinese white wood ear mushroom soup that was sweetened with dates and pear. And so it is a sweet soup. So I actually called it more along the lines of a tonic because I don't think, Western audiences are used to having their soup be like sweet and fruity, even though like it's cooked like a soup. I also cooked into the soup a whole bunch of barley to make the liquid more like barley water, which was like nice and thick and creamy. and it was served cold because it was a hot day out. So it was a very cooling tonic. There was a lot of like cooling spices in there, like galangal and cardamom, and it was sweetened with a little bit of rock sugar, but mostly just jujubes and pears. And yeah, and it was served over ice and had some like purple flowers on it. It was really pretty. I took photos of it. They're on our Instagram, or yeah, I think they're on our Instagram. And
I've only ever had it like Chinese hot pot places when they have like a buffet line, and it's always like serving like a big vat.
Yeah,
but it's like the prettiest version of that dish that I've ever seen. And like a soft blue like color, and after like the warm crispy soft shell crab, it was something like refreshing to cleanse the palate. Yeah, I think a lot of the people like they've never like seen that dish before, because I feel like for like most Western culture, the only cold soup they know is like a gazpacho.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are commenting like, "Oh, this is like really different."
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad they liked. I heard that it was very popular. I hope that that was true.
No, it was.
Yeah. And it was small portions and it was pretty easy to eat as well. Normally that soup is more like a amber golden color, but I use butterfly pea blossoms to kind of like dye the mushrooms into white. Because you know how when you do hair, when you bleach it and it's all brassy and yellow, you put in purple shampoo in your hair and it comes out white and platinum. That's like how I got the idea to like bleach, quote unquote, these mushrooms so that they didn't come out yellow, but they came out like icy white. So they looked more like, I don't know, crystal flowers than anything else. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with that presentation.
Yeah, add it to the menu.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So then after that, the next course it was really, really good. Oh my God. So it was like a polenta course, and it was like a little block of like polenta cake. And then it had zucchinis and I believe like tomatoes and asparagus like sauteed together, sprinkled with like a good like briny feta. And the polenta cake was like nice and firm, but it was also like super creamy, and I don't know what it was seasoned with, but it felt really flavorful. And yeah, after like the previous like soft like soup, just like a nice little like textural moment because like the veggie like was cooked, but also they had like a little bite to it, so they weren't mushy. It was like a really successful course.
And that one was cooked by Chef Krista Leduc. And I actually like had the honor of like helping her make that because I was taking up the stove while she was making the polenta because I was next to my soup. And so I was helping her stir it out, and it was like such a cool rustic polenta that she got. It was like fresh ground from a local farmer using local corn, so that's why the polenta was so good. And like she put so much work into it. Like not only did, she add, water and butter to the polenta, but she added like, I think grilled vegetables to it too. So the vegetable water would cook out of the vegetables into the polenta. And then she like shaped them into cakes. She put them into trays and then cut them up later. And then she like I think they pan-seared them afterwards. It was so pretty. And one of like the biggest things that I like regret not having been able to taste because I was just like working this thing. But yeah, she was super cool. I really was glad I got to meet her.
And also, I think it was probably the most like popular dish of the night because I think that truly was like a dish and flavor that like, even if you're a picky eater, like you're gonna like this.
Yeah,
or even and it was like special like dietary restriction. It was like
right because it's like. It was gluten-free, it was vegan. I think it was vegan. Vegetarian, well, that vegetarian because of butter. But then I think she did make a vegan version. And it was just like summertime personified. It was so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who needs summertime sadness when you have summertime happiness with that polenta?
Yeah. Summertime tomatoes.
And then the next course was like a Thai-inspired dish. Like but it was like a pork loin with like a super crispy skin, and then it had some sort of like I think there was like some sort of like a braised green with it, if I remember correctly. And then she also served like a bowl of like little chilies on the side. And a funny story with the chilies. The guy sitting left to me, I just passed him like the bowl of chilies, just like nonchalant, and he just took like a big bite out of the chili.
No.
And I guess they were like super, super spicy, so he was like crying and like panting and gasping, and I'm like, whoops. I was just passing the condiments, yo. But yeah, the chef instructed, take a little bite of the chili and then eat the pork with it, which tasted really good.
Yeah, that one was cooked by Tiffany Faison. She has she has restaurants in Boston, and she's like a finalist for a James Beard Award like a whole bunch of times, as well as having been on like TV.
Damn.
It was really badass to see her just bring in these like whole pigs in the kitchen and just like butcher and debone them right there in front of everybody so fast too. It was awesome. And then she like took the entire pigs and just like put them into roll, like put seasoning on them and then put like a ginger scallion paste on them. And then she rolled them all up and then roasted them. Oh, it was so good. That one I actually got to have a couple of tastes of, and I ate it with the sauce. It was delicious.
It was really good. And another thing I noticed with this was a lot of people weren't eating the crispy skin part.
Yeah, which rude. Just why would you not?
I feel like Americans are conditioned to believe like fat is bad, but also like that's where the flavor is.
Yeah, I know. And also like people need to get over the idea that fat is like bad for you. I mean, like sure it is. Yes, it's like you can easily have too much of it, but having a little bit of fat in your meal actually helps you feel fuller faster. Like there are tricks. I mean, like this is like there are dietary tricks that if you have like a teaspoon of olive oil before you eat your food, like you'll eat less because your stomach reacts to feeling the fat in there, and it actually like contracts and like makes you think you're more satisfied. So a little bit of fat not only does it make your food delicious, but it also like helps your body realizes that it's full. So don't be so afraid of it. It's not as bad as you think it is.
You heard it here, folks. Don't be afraid of the fats.
Hashtag don't cancel fat.
Hashtag fats, we love you. And then last course was like a dessert. And it was the chef's like modern take on like a tiramisu. And this was really, really good. It was almost like a moussey, like tiramisu mixture, but with like crispy like cakes on top, and then there was some sort of like an orange like compote thing in the middle. And it was just sort of like a tiny amount, but that was like all you need because it was like very like decadent and rich. And it tastes like a really good tiramisu.
That one was made by Elizabeth Faulkner, and she's on the James Beard Board of Trustees.
Oh, damn.
And is a master pastry chef. And she has a film coming out in August called Sorry We're Closed. And she told me about this. It was a film, pretty much a documentary film that documents the lives of, like, I think, chefs during the pandemic. So that one's actually going to be really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, if you don't have some sort of like a James Beard association, don't even step from this kitchen.
I mean, I don't have anything.
You've got your looks, your pretty face.
Oh, that's funny. Also, there was another person that was involved. His name is Nick Sharma, and he did all the appetizers.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was really funny that, like, all of the people... So, obviously, this entire roster for this dinner was queer. But all, like, the career cooks, the people who are in restaurants, still had restaurants... They were all lesbians. Nick Sharma is like a microbiologist who turned cook, who turned into cookbook author. So like the two gay guys were both food media. While like the hardcore back of house cooks were all lesbians. And sometimes the jokes really do write themselves.
I didn't see these appetizers. Were they like past apps?
Yeah, they were past apps. I think they were coming out in front. So the ones that were I don't remember them either. I know there was like a samosa pie, I think.
What? Okay,
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised you didn't say anything about it because they were like very, very South Asian.
Somehow these appetizers never wait. It never made its way to me.
They might have just run out before you even got there. But like, yeah, I remember
there were flavors that I missed out on.
I know there were, and like the thing is, like I remember them cooking because like there was one chef, one of the cooks was making the chana masala to put into these samosa pies, and it smelled amazing.
Oh, I love chana masala.
That's chickpea curry, I think.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Me want chana. Want. Anyways. But so the whole premise of like this benefit dinner was they're raising money because they're trying to start the world's first queer food festival, which is really cool.
Yeah. And if you think about it, I mean, like queer people, gay people have been in all aspects of food throughout its entire history, whether it not be like, you know, people who work front of house and then people who work back of house, we're all involved in it. And we have so many people that are involved throughout like the entire course of it. And I'm sure they're going to do stuff for like scholarship opportunities to send aspiring cooks to like good restaurants and stuff. So hopefully this does really well. And if you want to learn more about it, you can go onto their Instagram and search for Big Queer Food Fest.
Damn, this whole podcast feels like a giant product placement, but we are not paid or sponsored.
No, we're not paid at all.
No.
We're
just sharing our experience.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
For free. Let's take a break.
No. Let's keep talking. And just like that, we're back.
Hello.
So, John, since coming back home from LA, what have you been doing all week?
There was a TED conference that focused on climate change that was in the city of Detroit, and I was invited to not participate, but I was invited to attend all of like the conference programming. But like the programming is intense. They fly people from all around the world. So there were like probably like thousands of people in Detroit. And the program was, the first TED Talk would start at like 9. And then like the last event, which usually was like a dinner or like a dinner talking conversation thing, it ended at 10 p.m. And I think there were two maybe half an hour to 45-minute breaks in there.
And you had to be there all day?
Yeah. Well, no, you got to pick and choose with like if you could be there all day. But I couldn't because unlike those folks who like pretty much are just here and have a hotel room and stuff like that, like I had still my regular life to live. Little John was out of town, so I wanted to make sure that the dogs were taken care of. I walked them like poor Boba had to be in the crate for a little bit longer than she was used to. So to balance that out, I took her out on walks like 3 times a day around the block so she could go to the bathroom. So I would come back and make sure she got her exercise and got her tired enough so that she would go to the crate by herself. So I just, it was between that, working out in the morning, going to the conferences, taking care of the dogs, and then going back to the conferences, and then coming home late at night and passing out. But I learned a lot.
It was literally work, gym, travel.
It was work, gym, bus, club, another club, no sleep, conference. But yeah, because I do sustainability messaging in my YouTube videos where I talk about getting rid of gas stoves and reducing food waste, I get invited to a lot of these types of meetings a lot by YouTube. So shout out YouTube. Thank you very much. I do like being a part of these. So,
do they know that you don't even recycle?
I recycle. I actually
I'm kidding.
What are you? I have an extra recycling bin.
Do they know that you throw food away?
Into the mouths of my puppies. Yes. I feed my dogs. So yeah, it was cool. I got to meet some really cool climate scientists, but there were also a lot of corporate people there too. I met the media head for Mars Corporation.
Oh, like the candy bar Mars?
Like candy bar Mars, like all the stuff that Mars owns. He was really cool. I taught him how to use TikTok. So, yeah. So there were seminars, there were meetings and stuff, and I met some really cool people. I met with one guy. He is I forgot what his title was. Impact. I don't want to say like impact specialist. I know it's like impact is in his title, but he is from the Amazon region. And it was just really cool to meet people from all around the world who do really cool stuff. And he has a documentary on Disney Plus right now.
Yeah, sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, it was, but really stressful.
Did they even like feed you at these like conferences?
Yes, and it was all vegetarian and vegan because that is aligned with the climate messaging, which I get, and I respect the fact that it was. It's not easy to feed all these people, all these different cultures with all these dietary restrictions in like big groups like this. But I think the weakest part of it was probably the food, because Detroit is such a good food hub. We have a lot of really good restaurants. We have a lot of great produce. There were just some things in the menu that was like, okay, this is fine. And then like their version of a vegan coney dog was just the least okay thing.
Also, I've never tasted it. I've tried so many of those like vegan hot dogs. No hot dog can replace the sensation of a meat hot dog, no matter how hard they try.
It's true, and it wasn't even that though, but because coney dogs are like a chili dog with onions and mustard, with a specialized chili, sure, but like vegan chili is like the easiest thing ever, and so these coney dogs had like loose beans on them and liquid. It was just not. Oh, no. It was not it. It was not it.
Unfortunately, you just need like the texture of like a ground beef, and then it's all about the spices.
Right, and which you could get some Impossible beef. Maybe they were confined by budget or time or whatnot. And I don't like to be a person who is hypercritical of other people's food, no matter what the setting. But because they chose a very iconic Detroit dish to represent this event in Detroit to a bunch of people who are not from Detroit, I felt misrepresented as a Detroiter on what these... Because I've had vegan conies, and they can be good. They can be pretty good. And this one wasn't it. Also, there was a tofu slider where I bit into it. It was just a block of tofu.
Like not seasoned or anything? It was just like tofu?
It was seasoned on the outside, but like the tofu was so thick that it was still like stark white in the middle.
I mean, I love like a plain tofu, but like if it's going to be like a sandwich form, it needs to be like more seasoned, because like the bread
needs to be marinated, it needs to be sauced, it needs to be seared, it needs to be heavily sauced. I think maybe some pickles. There were pickles in there. Granted, it was tasty, but you know, I'm nitpicking now.
And that's one thing. A lot of my Western friends, like, I wish I could teach them like the joy of like plain tofu.
Yes,
like,
that is so.
Tofu can be so good.
So good.
I remember in Korea. You just go to like a specialty like tofu store like in your neighborhood, and you get like the fresh tofu, like freshly made, and it's like hot and warm, and you can just like eat it straight up, and you get like that subtle like earthy, nutty soy flavor, and it's like a warm hug like, in your mouth.
And that's the thing though, because most people, or not most, but a lot of people in the United States have such a terrible first experience with tofu that they just like are turned off by it in general for like the rest of their times eating tofu. So even if they come across good tofu afterwards, they're just like, I can't get over the taste. I can't get over the texture. But it's like, if you've never had tofu, don't just go to some like slap happy cheap vegetarian or vegan meat replacement dish. Like go to somewhere where they like serve tofu for the sake of serving tofu,
or just
there might be meat in it.
Asian restaurant,
any Asian restaurant. And I won't even say like I don't know. I grew up around Chinese dishes all my life. Tofu was something that I still had to get used to, but there was just like some dishes that were like big hits for me.
Something you get used to?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. There's something about when I was younger, there was something about the I could taste the whatever it was, the chemical that they processed the tofu with, and that was like a turnoff for me because tofu had so little flavor, and so like I had to like get over that and then learn to love it.
Tofu growing up.
I've had pretty good tofu growing up,
but you just described as no flavor. Really good tofu has good flavor.
No, when you're younger, your taste buds are different and you're attuned to different things. I was very much a person who liked my sweets when I was little.
When I was young, sometimes my mom would just like take plain tofu and like put soy sauce on it, and then that's all we eat. But like, it was delicious.
No, that was not. I wasn't into it. I wasn't into just that. I think I learned to like tofu in my younger years with mapo tofu.
Mapo tofu is good. Yeah, so I didn't discover mapo tofu until like later in my life. And then also, the first time I had mapo tofu, I actually didn't like it because it was like Kanto style, like mapo tofu, and it was more
not
like,
spicy.
Not spicy, and it was like more sweet. And I was like, I didn't know what it is. It's too sweet, too sweet.
Yeah.
But then I had the Szechuan style mapo tofu, and I'm like, something in me like had awakened. Like the entire just earth like split open, and I was like dropped from like below, and I was like introduced to a new burning sensation that I didn't know was
one that was in your mouth this time.
And the mapo tofu is such a good dish because like the silky smooth tofu with like the little like ground meat, like which is juicy, and then every now and then you get a bite of like that scallion, which like keeps the dish like
with
fresh.
That oniony, grassy. I was going to say gassy, but grassy like tones, very nice.
And serve on top of like a fluffy, fragrant jasmine rice. I think to this day, mapo tofu, I can confidently say is probably my favorite Chinese dish.
Do you think mapo tofu is popular with Koreans in general just because of the different flavor profiles of mapo tofu? Like, is it similar to spicy Korean food in a way that's familiar, or is it just like, or is it completely different?
I mean, mala was like not a thing in Korea like until recently. Like mala is like super trendy right now in Korea,
nice.
But like I think like the version of like mapo tofu you get like where like, or at least previously, like the mala flavors weren't that strong. But I feel like a lot of like the mapo tofu like found in Korea is more like Kanto style.
Really? That's surprising. Are there a lot of Cantonese people in Korea? Or like, are most of the Chinese people in Korea Cantonese?
I don't know, actually. A lot of the Korean people have like trouble with spices. Like spices like that aren't like native
spices,
to Korea.
Not spicy.
Not spicy, spices.
So and like Szechuan, flavors like
the Szechuan peppercorn and things like that. Like a lot of Korean people like not like they don't enjoy it, but like
it's not
like familiar
every
to them.
Day to them. Yeah.
So but it's also kind of crazy like how mala became like such like a big trendy food in Korea now.
Like, I mean, it got pretty popular here in the States too.
Like mala shangwa? I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. Well, in Korea,
mala shangwa. Mala fruit?
No, like the dry pot.
Oh, okay.
So like whereas previously, like girls like after like high school's over, like they'd go eat like tteokbokki, but now like they all go to eat like mala dry pots together.
Oh.
And there's like mala dry pot places like everywhere in Korea.
I think my only dry pot experience was in New York with Mala Project. I think they have dry pots there.
Oh, so you've never gone to the one where you pick all the ingredients and the meat?
No.
And then they like stir fry it for you and then bring it to your table?
No.
What?
I've never done that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, next time you come to LA, which is in a couple of weeks, we are going to do that.
Yeah. What? So is just someone else stir frying some stuff for you?
So basically, they weigh it by pound, and it's like charged by pound. And they have like a buffet line of all the ingredients. And so basically, you pick a pot, you put in all the ingredients, and there's like bamboo shoots, tofu skins, like beef, lamb, like fish balls, spam, like anything, and a bunch of vegetables you can imagine, noodles, and yeah, they take it and they like stir fry it with like mala spices, like really spicy.
Oh, I'd try that, but that also sounds like something I would just make for myself.
But I'm just saying, like, this is like the dish like that's like so trendy and popular in Korea right now.
Interesting. Okay, let's go when I come over there for your birthday. Are you excited?
For my birthday, yes, I'm very excited. Very excited to get older. Was it hard for you to like accept the fact that you're finally considered an old person now?
I feel very attacked. Whatever. The kids on TikTok think 30 is old.
That's true.
Literally, like, these kids are like crying, age 29, crying on video about turning 30. And I just want
like turning 40.
I'll cry. I'll do a crying video. No, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I don't notice anything. If anything, I get bored more easily. That might be like the biggest difference that I have between like 20, 30, and 40, where it's like, yeah, we can go out. Let's go home. Like, I just get bored and I have like less of a tolerance for things I don't like. And that would probably be like the biggest like difference of all the decades that I've been through at this point.
At this point.
At this point. Can you imagine like how like I'm 60 years old? I just like don't give even less of a fuck. Have you used the age filter?
The one that everyone's using on TikTok right now? No.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Oof. It was rough with me. I looked like a tree.
Also, have you ever used the like the younger filter?
Yeah, that one didn't really do much.
I feel like it just like blurred out my skin.
It blurred out my skin and it darkened my eyebrows, and that was it. So I was like, maybe I should get microblading. If that's all it takes to look younger.
Oh, you should try to fill your brows in, like with makeup, and see how you like it.
Oh yeah. Do you have any?
I might. You know,
do you have any specific? There we go. Kim Browley.
Yes, Kim Browley. Get it?
Yeah, I think we got it. But that reminds me. I want to ask you something. Should I cut my hair short again to this?
Absolutely.
I'm sending you the text. I think this was me last year or 2 years ago.
Oh no, this is like prison haircut.
Yeah, like short.
Maybe not that short.
But like just slightly longer than a slightly longer version of that?
Like this haircut is very like and for the listeners that can't like see this picture, you look like that main character from Slam Dunk.
Oh, the really old school manga?
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. He has red hair.
Yeah, but look at the haircut.
It's like a pompadour. It looks nothing like that hair I sent you.
I don't think you're looking at the right photo.
Oh, they redid it. Oh, I see. Yeah. It is kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like it?
No. You know, I want you to do whatever makes you happy. If this haircut is what's going to make you happy, I want you to live your life to the fullest.
That is such a long and roundabout way of saying, if you like it, I love it.
Yeah, if you like it, I love it.
Let's move on.
No, do it. Do it, you coward.
I miss rolling out of bed and not having to do anything with my hair.
You don't want to.
What's that like?
You don't want the K-drama haircut.
What's the K-drama haircut?
Okay, so when you cut it and don't style it, it almost looks like a bowl cut, but it's actually a very versatile haircut. You can like slick it back or like part it to the side or...
I'm looking up K-drama haircut male.
I sent you a picture.
Oh, and it is... Oh, see, the thing is with this was definitely my hair in like when I was in high school, and I just don't.
All the Asian
and I
boys
feel
have
like
this,
I'm
haircut now.
So yeah, so the curtains with the little peak in the middle, that hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you can't be 40 with that haircut.
Yeah, you can.
I think middle parts at 40 are creepy.
But you're not going to part in the middle. You can style it many ways.
Yeah.
You get to cut it like that, but then you like... You can like slick it up, or you can like...
Yeah. I also like think because my head is so big, that would just make my head look enormous because it's so poofy.
Well, whatever helps you sleep better at night.
I mean, obviously all the photos that you sent me of these guys are very, very attractive, and they have fantastic hair.
It's the same person, not all these guys.
Huh? Oh, I'm looking on Google, actually. That was Google. But anyways, maybe I do like the Asian hairstyles on men, like that come from Asia more than the ones that are like local here.
I was going to say, why do you hate Asians?
I don't. I was saying we have great hair.
So anyways, yeah. Well, again, do what makes you happy. You got one life to live. I want you to do you to the fullest. Because no one else can do you except for you.
All right, let's move on.
Anyways. Mala, next time you're in LA, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got anything else to add?
No, it's all been me this episode. What about you?
I've been talking this entire time.
You have been talking, but you've been weighing in this entire time.
Well, I got a lot of things. I got a lot of feelings. I got a lot of things to say. And that is that I haven't done anything interesting this week.
Not since I've left?
I mean, I've just lived my day life. Going to the gym, grabbing like lunch or dinner with friends.
Did we ever talk about Olivia?
Olivia? I don't think so.
The restaurant?
So if anyone that has never heard of Olivia, it is a vegan pizza restaurant, but hear me out.
Also vegetarian stuff.
Yeah. Well, I feel like vegetarian is a given when you say vegan.
It's not really.
Okay, excuse me. It is a vegan/vegetarian restaurant, but hear me out. I'm a meat eater, and when you eat the food here, it is so good that you're not even thinking about meat. And I'm not paid. I'm not sponsored. And in K-Town, you get a lot of Korean restaurants, and there's like a lot of K-barbecue. So this is almost like a really like fresh oasis that this restaurant is even in K-Town. But they're okay. This is someone like who doesn't even like pizza, and their pizzas are delicious.
The crust is so good. Admittedly,
it's like you get the little burnt piece, but it's like crispy, but then it's also like chewy and soft in the middle.
Yeah.
And all the toppings are delicious. Like all these like cheeses that make in the house that are dairy free, and then they also have
And
dairy
their fried
ones too.
olives are really good too.
Yeah, if you don't like olives, you need to at least like taste it.
And we got to share that meal with a Korean vegan.
Yeah,
who was already a fan of that restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
That restaurant has our sign off and hers as well.
Yeah. So I highly recommend anyone that is into vegan vegetarian food to go try Olivia in Cape Town. It is so good. And all their salads are super fabulous. They really know how to, excuse me for my cheesy description, but they really know how to celebrate vegetables really well without feel like they're like forcing veggies down your throat, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a very cool restaurant. The flavors are really like they're beautiful and tasty. But it doesn't feel like you're missing out on anything by eating there, I should say. So, yeah, give it a try if you're out in K-Town. I got to eat, what was that place that I ate with the sandwiches? What was that place called? Open Market. Yeah, I got to eat at Open Market in LA. And that was really good, although I was told that I ordered the wrong sandwich.
By who?
I had the Hainan chicken salad sandwich, and somebody said that was their least favorite, but I liked it. They gave you like a Hainan chicken salad. It was a chicken salad with like Hainanese like flavors in it, and then they gave you like the broth, so you could like use it as almost like a dip. So I would dip my chicken salad into like the super chicken broth, and I eat it that way. It was really good. And then my manager who went had the pork chop sandwich, and that was really good.
My favorite thing from Open Market are Turkish eggs, which I've never had until I've had it there. But it is like they take like really thick yogurt, but the yogurt is like really garlicky, and they top it with 2 poached eggs and a ton of dill, and then it's drizzled with chili oil, and then they give you like a really crusty sourdough to like dip it in. So then like this like creamy yolky egg like mixed with these garlicky, dilly like yogurt is like super tangy and delicious.
I think this was one of the first dishes you talked about in our podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm remembering. Which
it's been a while since I've talked about it.
About Turkish eggs?
Turkish eggs, yeah.
We'll have to make some. It doesn't seem hard.
No, I feel like it would be very easy.
Do you have anything interesting coming up?
I'm going to be on Work the World for Asia and Australia in
when are you
August,
going?
like September-ish.
Who's watching Butter?
That is yet to be determined.
Okay. Send her over to Detroit.
You come to LA and pick Butter up. Oh my god, I can't imagine how Butter would even react to your dogs.
I know. I think she would I think they would get along.
I think they'll get along too.
Yeah.
But
just a bunch of squish faces hanging out with each other.
But pit bulls and their lockjaw is like what I'm scared of.
What lockjaw?
Pit bulls and their lockjaw.
What does that mean?
Like once they bite, they don't let go, right?
I don't know. I've never been bitten by one.
Not yet.
Nah. They wouldn't bite Butter.
No.
Butter
I
would
don't
probably
know.
bully
Your
them.
dog was really scary last time I was there.
No, she wasn't. Well, no, she had it out for you.
Outside my bedroom door all night long.
You were in her room. We didn't know that was happening. Yeah, we didn't know that was happening. We would have totally taken her at that point. But yeah. But she didn't bite you.
I was just shivering like, Mommy, I want to go home.
Well, that is all the time we have for today.
If you like what you heard, like, subscribe, share. Otherwise, you're a fucking hater.